Hey everyone, so this is Catfish season 6 episode 11 called Colleen and Tony. Colleen is the one who's writing it because she's afraid that her boyfriend Tony is catfishing her. So the initial email says, Colleen is 20 and lives in Spokane, Washington. She met Tony over 3 years ago, supposedly on PLF, Plenty of Fish. She found when they first met, he claimed to be living in Lakewood, Washington, but whenever she tried to meet up with him and in person, he was like, he came up with some BS excuse, and he would always have something to come up when he was trying to video chat. So she apparently took a break from Tony and got into a new relationship, and so. But she would always think of Tony when she her thoughts would always go back to Tony and stuff. So they reconnected, and shortly after that he proposed to her. And not long after they reconnected, she was told by Tony that he now lives in the Baton Rouge area. So Nev and Max call her on Skype, and she recounts that she met on PLF, but she had moved to Spokane like 3 years before when she met Tony, around the time she met Tony, from a small town. Tony told her that he was 27, and that he was working as a delivery guy. He also claimed to not have any social media. Okay, that's kind of, for someone who's, it's just kind of iffy. Anyway, so she again recounts that whenever she tried to video chat with him, he was always busy. But she also mentioned that whenever they actually did video chat, it was always a weakened signal. So that's when she got into the new relationship and stuff. But then she reconnected with Tony, and then that's when he asked her to marry him. Nev and Max then make their way to Spokane and go to Colleen's house, and once inside, she's like, I need to tell you something. And she drops a bombshell that her and Tony haven't been dating for 3 years. They've only been together for 3 months. Anyway, she has 2 different numbers for him. The first one he started using when they initially started talking, but then he started calling her from a second number out of the blue. So the next day, Nev and Max start their investigation at a local cafe or restaurant or whatever. But on the pictures, they don't come up with anything. And then they then run the numbers. The first number, or I wanted to say, both numbers have a Spokane area code. The first number doesn't come up with anything. No name, no names, no addresses, no nothing. It was at this point Nev was thinking, well, he most likely lives in Spokane because it seems like he lives in Spokane since both numbers have that area code. And it didn't seem like they were, the numbers were a landline, aka texting app. So, anyway, so they run a second number, and a name comes up with that associated with the number, named Tim, first name Tim, who's in his 60s, and there are about 4 or maybe 5 people associated with Tim's number, but none of them are Tony. So they then look up Tim on Facebook and don't find him anywhere in Spokane or any surrounding area. So they then call Tony themselves, and since they literally don't have anything to go on, Tony answers, and he's like, I live in the Baton Rouge area, and he has reservations. One of them being is that she lied about her age. He says she initially told him that she was 25, and after he had proposed to her and she said yes, he found out that from her that she was actually 20, not 25. She admitted later, also after she accepted this marriage proposal, that she had lost a job. But initially, he was under the impression that she was getting a job promotion soon. And as I said, when they had got engaged, she lost a job, and so that's when he supposedly started supporting her and sent her between $300 to $400. He claims that he claims that the pictures are him, and all that. So they go back to Colleen's house after they hang over Tony and tell her what they found from reverse Google searching and reverse image searching and reverse phone lookup, and they then also they call Tony, tell her what he told them. She's like, look, I never lied about my age. In fact, I've been talking about my 21st birthday quite often for the past 2 months. She also claims he has offered to send her money, but she's always declined. And he actually did send her some money right after she lost a job, which was $75, and that was it. It was nowhere close to hundreds of dollars. Nev tells her they have been lied to before, and they don't want to take sides, because if they take her side and she's found to have been lying about everything, then they're gonna feel bad for having believed her. And if they, if they had taken his side and she, and found out that, what I said it was initially right. What if they had, sided with her and found out that everything she said was a lie, it would have been looked out. They would have felt dumb. And if they had taken his side and they found out that he lied about everything, then they would have felt bad about that too. So they're all he's gonna do is keep the promise that they themselves initially told her was that, or promised her to meet, get them to meet, and that's it. So Nev then goes outside to call Tony again. He's like, well, I'm on the fence, cause I have a lot going on, like it's the same old BS ass excuse. And so Nev's like, well, look, if you really love her, you'd meet with her. So why don't we meet? Why don't we get her to come to Louisiana so you can meet her? Like, okay, fine, but I lied before. Pictures that you asked if were mine aren't really mine. Not that surprising. So they go, but after hanging up, and he goes back inside and tells them what Tony said. Next day, they make their way to Baton Rouge. The day after they get to Louisiana, they text Tony to meet up somewhere. He's like, meet me at my cousin's house. So they go there, and Tony comes out. And I'm thinking to myself, he's not a bad looking dude. Like, he's not a bad looking dude at all. I date him if he showed me what he looked like. If he showed me what his if he took a picture of himself right now and showed it to me, I would be like, okay, I date him. I personally, I would. He's, like I said, because he's not a bad looking dude. So, yeah, anyway, so, his real name is actually Jeremy. Well, first off, Colleen confronts him about him telling Nev the lies he did, and he's like, I shouldn't have done it, I'm sorry. And then, so they start talking about why he's done all this stuff, and he's like, well, he's found that non-black women would assume certain things based on his skin color. And so that's why he put up a picture of a white guy, because he didn't want people to assume that I like certain things, like that's not what I actually like or anything. So, and all that stuff. So then this is where I'm just like, this is where I completely just didn't give a shit about them anymore. I really, like, this is literally where I really just didn't give a shit about them anymore. I really didn't. Neither one of them, especially her. Because he gets down on his knees and he's like, I'm sorry for doing all this stuff, yada yada. Will you marry me anyway? And she says yes. And I'm thinking to myself, like, girl, why the fuck would you do that? Because, it's one thing when he's lying about his pictures. I mean, that's what every catfish pretty much just lies about the pictures. That's pretty much what every catfish lies about, is the pictures. And maybe their name, or most likely their name. But they almost always lie about the pictures. So that's, that I can kind of like, I don't like it, but I'm used to it by now. I'm used to it seeing with these catfishes and everything. But he told not small lies. It's like he told huge ass lies. Like, he told huge ass lies. Like, he literally lied to Nev and Max, saying that you had told him, you had lied to him about your age, and said that you were 25 when you were actually 20. And that wasn't even true. Then he fucking lied and said that you lost your job and he sent you $100, $300 to $400 to support you. And that wasn't even true. He only sent your ass $25, or not $25, $75. Sorry, excuse me. He only sent your ass $75. So he not only lied about huge ass things to me, but he lied twice. He lied 2 times. Why the fuck would your ass like? I wanted to beat her ass, because I was like, why the fuck would you say yes to him when he not only lied about his pictures, but he made up lies about you. If he's the one to make up lies about you, what the fuck is he not willing to do? I'm just like, girl, I am so done. Like, no. I guess she's 20, but she's still old. Like, I get she's 20, but damn, you can't, like, what? Like, no, it would have been a fucking rap. The moment he lied twice about me, it would have been a fucking rap. It would have been a goddamn rap. Like, nah, it would have been a fucking rap. I'm like, nah, bitch, bye. You gonna fucking, like, you're gonna miss me and everything that comes with me. Like, nah, bitch, like, no. So at this point, I was already done with him at this point, but I was done with her. Like, I was completely done with her. Like, no. So now he's like, oh, I got another thing to tell you. My family's not that accepting of interracial relationships. I'm like, okay. And then so he wants her to meet his family. So they all go to his sister's house, his sister Mika's house. And so they explain this whole situation to them. And she, her expressions were like, so basically, he's like, so Tony and Colleen met on Plenty of Fish, and all that, and so basically, Tony put up pictures of a white guy, and she was like, what? Her face, she had me dead, because I was like, I would have probably done the same thing. I'm like, what the fuck you doing? Like, she literally said that too. She was like, what the fuck you doing, Jeremy? It's like, what the fuck you doing? Like, it was that, I was still here for it, because I was just, she didn't have a problem with Colleen, I mean, it didn't seem like what he said about his family not cutting interracial relationships was all that spot on. Cause she didn't see. I mean, maybe she does, but and she just didn't show it to the camera, obviously. But I mean, still, she was like, I was so here for it, and so I'm just like, and so he was explaining about how like he doesn't mesh well with black women and stuff, and so because it's, I mean, he just doesn't fit the stereotype of what a typical black male likes, and so I mean, that's why he feels more comfortable dating outside of his race, whether it's white women or Hispanic women or should I say like Latinx women or Asian women or whoever. Like he feels more comfortable dating outside of his race. So, and at this point, it's like they it was brought up where they were gonna live. Like, and his cousin is like, where? Well, are you gonna move to Washington? And he was like, or she said, I don't want to move out of Washington. And he said, I might move to Washington. I'm just like, how the fuck are y'all gonna get married and y'all can't even decide on what the fuck you want to do? Like she doesn't want to move out of Washington and he might move back to Washington. How the fuck y'all gonna get married? Y'all can't live in two separate states because that's not a marriage. To me, that's not a marriage. Like, I mean, if y'all can, date or be in a relationship, married or not, and be in different states for a little while, fine. But overall, being in separate states and being married is not gonna work at all. At least not to me, not in the long run. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck y'all gonna make this shit work when y'all can't even decide whether, like, I'm just like, I was so done. I really was. I was like, both of y'all fucking please. So they then part ways, and she's like, well, go talk with your sister and your cousin, and cause I don't, and I mean, well, first she was like, well, before I get to the whole 2 months later thing, she was like, well, I don't want to like be the one. I don't want to take him from you and bring him halfway across to the other side of the country, and be the reason why y'all don't talk anymore, hang out anymore, or anything. So, and then they go their separate ways. And then they just go straight to the 2 months later thing. And Colleen and Jeremy are working things out. In fact, Jeremy is actually there with Colleen at the moment, in her place. And Jeremy has a interview scene at a pizza place or whatever, and like he's been trying to talk with his family, but they've been reluctant and all that stuff. And Nev and Max are actually invited to their wedding if and when that happens. Somehow I don't think that shit's gonna happen, but their whole relationship just sounds so fake. It just seems so fake. Like, I don't know. Clearly I have fucking issues with this damn episode, clearly. But anyway, so next week on Catfish, it's looking like they're going to Canada, in the search for the biggest catfish so far. Why the fuck does it look like it's some Jigsaw shit? Like, why does it look like some Jigsaw, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Jason Voorhees shit? Like, why does it look like some serial killer shit? Like, I mean, why does it look like it's a cross between Jigsaw, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger type shit? Why does it look like a cross between all those damn movies? It's like, why does it look like that? Like, I'm getting some serial killer type shit from that promo. I'm like, I mean, am I the only one? Cause that's what it looked like to me. Anyway, so let me know what y'all think. If y'all have any opinions about this episode, cause I'm just like, yeah, I'll see y'all later.